Welcome back, everybody, to VALORANT Challengers North America, where we just saw Moist Shopify take that first map 13-6 against the other side of Winthrop University. I'm Dryad, once again joined by Lemon, Kiwi, and Vans. And let's talk about this one a little bit, because I feel like it went the way that we were expecting. Winthrop started strong, they got the pistol, they got a couple of rounds, but it was a Moist Shopify that even with an ace in the first half, they were looking unstoppable, Lemon.
Yeah, like the ace, and then there was a 4K from them after, which was at the end of the round, but still cool. Like, mechanically, Moist Shopify... Okay, they're also... I guess Winthrop are also a cult. But Moist Shopify, they're trying to channel the win.
Gen G.
They're manifesting a win for the next map. But Moist Shopify, mechanically, they're a team that can turn around any odds, it feels like. And they had a game plan, and there wasn't really much stopping them. I mean, Winthrop would take a round here and there, but never really gather much momentum.
Yeah, and it hurts them, right? Once you get into that second half and you tried to gamble the second round by with the first plant that you had, and then you lose that one and you lose the next two. And it just not only in terms of, yes, into the fourth round, your economy is kind of finally get built up where it's the fourth round that's your gun round. You've given a lot of opportunities and given up a lot of orbs against you, and MXS were just able to snowball into ult economy, into just regular credit economy, and just have better aim as well on the defense, unfortunately. I mean, look at those opportunities that you had, elevated from spawn, elevated from boxes, just landing all of their shots and winning first blood duels. And it looks like it's 12-7, but it definitely does feel like most of those on Winthrop's side was when they were playing the defensive side.
It was the confidence that we saw for this team, and as you were saying, Vance, the rounds that we got to see on the defensive side, and also just in a simple way that I'm thinking of, because Moist Shopify, they knew how to close out the advantages that they had. And that was something that we saw constantly throughout this map. Even when we were seeing that ace from a Proto, it feels like it was very methodical, the way that he was getting each one of those. But especially when it comes to the firepower, and when it comes to the team of Moist Shopify, I feel like they have everything to take this series down in two, because that map of Icebox is all about that firepower. We once again have to keep it simple for that one, and I feel like it's gonna be Lemon.
Yeah, Icebox is something that Winthrop have liked to avoid for quite some time, and they played it recently, I think, in the Funhaver Invitational, and they were quirky with it. They got the Clove, they got some Sova, so I'm wondering if that's the type of composition you would bring out for a more serious match like Challengers, as well as Moist Shopify. They're kind of running this, so they can play whatever they want, honestly.
They can do whatever they want, Vance.
100%. And when you're looking at how they were playing in things that were a little bit more serious, such as CVAL, I think we mentioned it right before we got into the series, that it was Moobs that was playing with the group. And if I remember Moobs playing Icebox, I think they were pulling out like Arena from time to time with a double duelist and trying to get a little bit more value of running through and finding across the Viper Orb. So right now, when you're looking at what composition or thinking of what composition Winthrop University could bring here on the second map of Icebox, it could be anything so far. I mean, they could go back into what could be simple of just getting like a Sage, KJ, and a Jet into that. But if you're trying to counter specifically or just play against a playstyle that MXS will bring out, it should be this double initiator Jet, right? So how do you play that against them? Do you want to run your double initiator as well, or do you want to play the double controller to not give any opportunities for players to really set up on at least aggressively inside the sites when you're going to play the retakes on your end? So that's going to be probably the main compositions that you currently see these days on a map like Icebox. Yeah. So we're just going to have to wait here at the Agent Select.
And on the other side is a Winthrop University that would like to get this map of Icebox and hopefully as well take us all the way to Ascend, where they would like to try to get the win as well. But it seems like, Lemon, Moist Shopify should be good for this one. We might be seeing, and we have that question, right, of what Vance was saying, what those compositions are going to look like. But in general, it's a map that you depend a lot on your duel list, if you're going to have a duel list at all. And you're going to depend on those long-range duels to be the ones that let you get the opening frag, and with that capitalize into the round win.
Yeah, Mata is the GOAT when it comes to this map. Dropped 22 kills against Oxygen. They beat them down 13-6, but Oxygen were also running Arena, and there's ways to counter this when you have a Jet and they don't. There's a mobility advantage there, and that's what I noticed when I watched MXS play against Oxygen, so it's hard to really feel how dominant Moist Shopify are going to be on this map, and it all depends on how boomed Winthrop are going to be or what's being talked about between the two maps.
What's been talked about and what the changes are as we are almost there for the agent select of this map of Icebox. And yeah, we mentioned the Reyna because we've gotten the chance to see it a few times. Obviously the Jet that usually plays a part into these type of maps, and especially in Icebox specifically. But I do want to pay a little bit more attention to what Mata is going to be doing, because as you were saying, Lemon, this is a player that we mentioned has the highest stats compared to week number 1, week number 2. He's looking insane in the first kill department, looking insane in the clutches, looking insane on the ACS, and on a map that allows you to just frag out Vans, you have everything in your favor to close it.
Yeah, definitely. And it's going to be scary right now for Winthrop University to go into that second map against MXS with what seemed to not work too well for them when they were playing the attack side too. So now that they're going to have to play that on Icebox, and they can't really get that one-to-one battle in their favor for any of these duels, or for most of those duels, you're going to have to potentially bank on, you know, doubling up in that buddy system. And I don't think you're going to be able to play a composition that's going to trap too much on a map like Icebox, right? Unless you're able to do something with Sova in your composition if you want to be a little bit more aggressive with those. But I mean, if you're trying to do these type of like fade combinations, it's not going to be the play here on Icebox. So it's not looking too swell. If you're going to have to just go for just brute forcing duels against MXS. I think it's pretty much in the bag here for Moist Shopify.
It should be, honestly, with the way that they've been playing, with the way that they've been performing against other teams, and the way that they've just been playing individually with that ace that we saw from Brock, and just the consistency that the team has. But let's actually jump into the agent select. Let's see if there's going to be anything different, anything that might enable the team a little bit more, and to find an answer for Winthrop as how they're going to fight back. And Lemon, you were right about the Clove is going to be played for this map, is going to be in the hands of Nasty. I love seeing Clove. I love seeing this agent being played more and more in Challengers, Game Changers, hopefully a little bit more into VCT. But I'm going to leave this map up to you guys.
Yeah, the Clove. I'm surprised Winthrop pulled it out, because you lose a lot of util having a Clove. You know, the smokes are cute and all, but I feel like you pull this out against Ion's Daycare because you feel like it's a team gap, but you're trying to pull out a Clove against Moist Shopify.
Yeah, if anything, on trying to take the attack for Winthrop University is a great start, though. I think that a Clove on pistol rounds with a Frenzy and shields, if somebody could maybe hero rifle them or hero pistol them, would be kind of great for Nasi to have. And to have the availability of Infiltrator as the duelist as well. You're able to just basically run a double dive composition, because Nasi and Clove as that agent could do so much in terms of gathering space. And also their metal that you have for Clove with a combination of shock darts could really allow for you to get some good executions and pops here within the sites. So I still am agreeing into the composition that will pull out and what they're trying to cook up here. There's other teams, for example, that have been playing like even double or triple controller on this map with the Clove, and utilize the Clove just to gain that space and use the Omen to get verticality. But at least this time, Winthrop's going to have to jet for that verticality on the attack to start. And looking at the kit that Nasi has, it's going to be a Ghost with the overheal, or a metal, sorry.
Must be stressful, though, starting off on offense after how the last map went and kind of how you're going to execute that game plan. Winthrop, one pistol last map, like the very first one, they just couldn't really generate momentum like you mentioned earlier off of that. So off the drone, not getting much info. Getting all the way back to screens, though, so there's some space that Winthrop can push up into. And now hearing some shots, they're going to disengage through the ropes off the Clove smoke. They hope to get a plant down, and Nasi's not going to stick it until they get first blood. Now MXS are alive and well to try and prevent this Tegan with the recon bolt from Winthrop. That's really helped them take a more confident engagement and also take a more confident plant as the wingman stunned up Nasi and allowed MXS to get at least one kill, but MXS have not had any advantages go their way in terms of util.
And Mata's going to be alone in a 1 versus 3. Spike's already planted, and Jerk and Screwface goes pistol. Well, I mean, it's still Mata, though. Give it back to you.
Okay, let's see. If I'm the problem, I'm the problem. You gotta keep talking for MXS to kill. But hey, it's a pistol for Winthrop, and I thought that was really good. Sorry. And Winthrop off the util is really well done.
Yeah, and at least what I'm seeing from Nasi to start things off on this Clove is it's giving me some like very early Icebox vibes of when the guard was pulling a Viper or an Omen and using these one-ways right here to not allow players to really swing out from the bottom because feet will be spotted, forcing wide swings outside of that smoke that could be watching from pipes and 410. So it's actually quite nice that, it's refreshing to see that again, and something that maybe these teams haven't seen in quite a while that they're going to have to adapt on the fly and very quickly on the side of Moistex Shopify. And they're adapting with a Bucky close range from Flya. And Screwface is droning early, so greatly done, but it's being avoided.
Oh, but they may not know that Flya is there with the Bucky. And Nasi's gonna be the first victim. Is there a second, though? Winthrop gonna respect it at range. Bucky not so fun. And a great reaction with the shock bolt from Screwface. And Winthrop have evened up the numbers, but Silence is low, and Screwface holds the angle against Vic. Who just dances around the corner and may just be able to escape, but doesn't have any assistance. So all Vic can do is call out the push from Winthrop. Nodoshima's on the flank and did good damage. Winthrop brought down to 3 members.
Did some damage, but it should have been more than that on that flank. And Nodoshima just unfortunately did not have the RNG of the GE Classic, hello India, to try to get those kills. And unfortunately here for MXS, they're spread across the map with only 2 classics available, but it's a smart play for them on this defensive round. Infiltrated, they probably have a re here that he likes to play the Outlaw, so they want to make sure that they keep the Econ right for the next round. Although Guardian got picked up.
Yeah, good mosh pit from Brock, and Mata, he always makes it look possible. Dashes, mind games against Screwface, Mata. It's a one-man army, and it's just Infiltrator with the Outlaw. Saw the jiggle peek. Position revealed, up and above, pulls out the pistol, and Mata gets 3.
That guy's insane, but all of MXS are insane in that round. The damage that you're able to do with Flya on that Bucky. First kill, 1 buckshot onto Nasi. Second one brought Silence down all the way to 14. Which then allowed the Classic to get even more pop shots, weaken him up, and not making sure that we're covering the Guardian. Remember, there was probably a couple of players here that probably had a lower buy than the Guardian, and they didn't want to switch that out, and left it behind for Mata to get a 3K on the retake. And once again, very early in the map, they get the win knocked out of the sails here for Winthrop University, and they already have to go into a smaller buy. It's a hero Marshall.
Oh,
and already
hero
one
Outlaw
has fallen.
Winthrop will still look to trade, and Mata dashes out, will play his life and go to ropes, but with the Viper's wall up, Winthrop can gain some space, but Mata heard the drop down. Winthrop can double swing. But Mata doesn't land those. Infiltrator will be safe for now, and Winthrop decided not to walk into MXS's hands.
And with that, Elise gets the information that they have pulling back already with the position from Flya. Heard the footsteps coming through. So he's going to watch a tight angle with the Outlaw. Knowing that Jerk's still alive here with the Marshall too. And now they're just pinned. So you're just going to wait it out. Have the Vandals still do the work towards the A side and have the Outlaw keep them pinned within the A site. And that's why Vic is already rotating across. They're going to have 2 players with Vandals within the site against Infiltrator solo Vandal. We'll see if they're able to convert that.
With Flya in mid, they didn't cross over, and Mata just picks a different high ground, and Winthrop, it's too much for them to clear with the numbers that they had, so Jerk, I hope to just keep this rifle if he can.
Yeah. It looks like he might. He's going to book it towards his B side, maybe for a plant. Nice shot onto Flya. Wait, this is actually doable here. If he's going to plant safely, not out in the open. Can play delays now with 2 nanoswarms. Maybe the second one's going to be a lineup from main. You're going to hear the rotate across, though. That's why they're activating here for MXS, already walking towards the site.
You might have already heard where Jerk is as well. Spike tap Jerk. Being patient, counting his time. Saw him on the high ground. But 5 HP for Jerk. Vic has dropped down. Got it to half. And awaits the duel against Jerk, who still has the turret too to peek around this corner. But Vic stands tall.
So hard to do at 5 HP, but it almost looked like it was doable there for Jerk. A clean shot that he landed onto Flya on the top of Boiler. You kind of wish that, as you mentioned, he had that turret he could have put down, but already thinking that the spike was diffused at least at halfway, he couldn't risk it to wait for the deploy of the turret to come out, so he had to swing on that one, and unfortunately got picked off. Vic, with the tap, has all the time in the world to fake that defuse, win that fight. But boy, it looked pretty close. Almost an opportunity to get the momentum back, to get the confidence back for a Winthrop, as it just got ecoed on that second round.
At least Jerk got the lockdown from it. But yeah, I thought that round was going to be over way before that. So Jerk definitely gave him some cope as the drone. Can Winthrop find where Mata is this time? Because Mata is just so difficult to dislodge. Brock is going to take himself out, and I guess all an illusion. You wouldn't expect a Gecko to push it to his own Molly, right? And Winthrop, who's Nasi and Jerk. Nasi used the ult and is looking for kills and gets more than what he bargained for. And Winthrop even have control of rafters. And with the smoke in its place, Otoshima has to swing in blind, and his vision will go dark. 3 for Infiltrator.
Nasi getting a second life, a second chance too. To come through with the ult, gain space towards screens, and somehow capitalize on the high-low off the ramp in Boiler to get those 2 kills. And yeah, it looked like the Mosh missed at first, but Brock just jumped out to get that pick. A clean shot coming out from Vic, had them all pinned towards the A site. And somehow just Infiltrator and Nasi fighting back towards the A main and getting so much value just off duels. Just getting good aim, clean shots, and now Fly looking at a pop flash, sorry, for them to potentially peek out towards middle. We'll see nothing.
Took hero plays out of Infiltrator and Nasi, and still Mata blade storming down mid is not gonna push his luck too much. Winthrop, we've already taken over A. Bladestorm versus Bladestorm, and Flya has already peaked, and Infiltrator bests Mata. The numbers favor Winthrop, and Infiltrator is on a rampage, and MXS have to push through smoke, and that darn close smoke in Rafters has ruined MXS's retake chance now back-to-back rounds.
That's crazy. You're just looking at the POV of Infiltrator. It's like, he's going to get another one at some point, right? And everybody's just dying through smokes, dying through utility off different areas of the map around the A site. And when you try to activate around the Bladestorm here for Moisex Shopify, that gamble, the play they were trying to make was trying to get value off, getting a ping off the Dizzy, off the double flash here with the KO, and couldn't land anything. And once again, Winthrop University, hearing that pressure coming out from the back end of the A site, brute force their way towards the front of the A site. And just won once again. Taking the lead back on Icebox. Rifle round for both of the teams. Mata already has control of Belt.
Okay, Thrash comes out, but yeah, Jerk is far enough away, but this is what, 2-3 person swing? Like, at least Winthrop had the number advantage to cut through mid, get control of kitchen, so Nasi could come from behind, has done such great work to get power positions for Winthrop, and as they re-clear mid, there's MXS who have pushed through A. But Winthrop are still in a great position and have already been planted at B. Thrash will detain Infiltrator, and Flya will get cleaned up by Nasi, who I feel like has been making this heroic plays for Winthrop in terms of the space clear and the ult usage, where the smokes are placed. It's all up to Brock. to defuse and draw out Screwface, but couldn't get a line of sight on him. Heard someone from behind. Brock is insane to even just win that first one. Either way, Winthrop, good momentum here.
Nasi's been doing a great job for Winthrop to gain so much space on this agent and is playing them well. Not afraid here to move forward, and even if they have to give their life away, there's still going to be somebody to trade behind. And as they're pushing forward, it's always Nasi and Infiltrator together pretty much at this point. Both of them working out towards the kitchen while the rest of them are splitting towards the B site, and they're getting so much value once again for how aggressive and how quick they're moving around. And for Moisek Shopify, I mean, it's not necessarily bad plays. They're just trying to fight back against Winthrop at the very beginning of these rounds. You've seen that pressure towards middle 2 rounds ago. This time towards the A side. They're just trying to get the read of to where they could hit and actually catch these players off guard. And it worked out. Look, they got the pick onto Jerk. But Winthrop University continues to do very well to continue to pivot and tempo up towards where they have an opportunity to take control in the matter of their own hands, and that's pushing towards the spawn and pushing against MXS's weaker side. So you're asking a little bit more here from those anchored players from Otoshima and Vic to do better here on delaying as much as they could so that those aggressive pushes could get much better value on these flanks.
That's a great point. Of Winthrop's tempo was stopped well by Mata in the first couple of rounds when he was updrafting and finding different high ground angles to shoot from. But now that Winthrop have been able to just ace up into A for free, that's been really successful. They switch it up once to B, and they get Nasi in kitchen. So Winthrop been really creative on their approaches. It's not been the same run every round. MXS have 3 stacked in B, including 2 flashes. And this drone didn't really see much. They are gonna ping to check yellow box, and Vic gets the assistance of this Dizzy from Brock.
Wow.
Forcing the dash out from Infiltrator. And it's an exchange that still favors Winthrop, especially playing off the outlaw from Jerk. Clove, Nasi activates the ult, and now could be the one who frontlines for the team. Can't convert though. But getting info that Brock is at mid-cut with an SMG. Infiltrator will play the distance battle, and with the smoke, this is a safe plan for Screwface.
Planted.
Don't know how Infiltrator survived that whole time.
One enemy remaining.
When he had a nice timing off the pop flash that could have punished him. Now Mata's alone with the Guardian against 4. He's done against 3, but he had the flank. This time, they're ready for the angle.
Oh, I can farm up some orbs. Need 3 orbs. There's 3 targets. The math is simple. Shots, not so much. So Winthrop really gathering a bunch of rounds on offense, which that was what I was worried about. Of how do you unboom yourself from map 1 and crack Icebox, which is not their best map.
Yeah, and how do you bring the mental back too after getting ecoed on that second round? And they're definitely doing good here to make sure that they stay calm. To know that they still have a fighting chance, and that it was very early in that map when they got ecoed here, right? It was literally round number 2. So they still have a chance to bring the economy back, to still get map control, still get good space control too. At that time it was against an eco that we had a trap play of just, oh wait, let's hold that thought. We're trying to be very aggressive on a pop towards the A side, and there's nobody there.
Onto his Fury. No pesky Jet on the high ground. Spraying through the smoke just in case, because that's where Mata hung out on one of the rounds. And Winthrop, they're all the smoke. Be able to get into a planning position, but where's the smoke on the top of Raptors? It's allowing MXS to flood in. Thankfully, Winthrop were ready to take that engagement. Silence gets 2, but it's brought this down to a 2v2, where Winthrop not so confident on the plan unless Silence pops the pit. So Nasi will be good for now.
And A tower is not going to be covered here, so hurt or might hear the drop coming through. The clap spotting Silence, and they were trying to get the spray. Now it gets reset. There's still an opportunity for Winthrop to win this.
Oh, wow. Silence down. Still a snake by 2 for Vic, and big W for Brock, despite... I mean, MXS were allowed to flood in, where usually that Raptors is smoked off, and Winthrop have been in a more prepared position. but it was shaky control from the start for Winthrop.
If anything, though, it started off well because it was an open A site. And once they got in, somehow Brock got maximum value off the kit of the Gecko inside of Viper's pit. The first wingman got the clap, spotting the Viper towards Dice. He sprayed towards it, did a little bit of damage towards Silence, then throws a Dizzy in there to allow Vic to go inside the pit to get the kill. And then unfortunately there, Nasi, I mean, he's had some great moments so far, but Nasi can't clutch every single round right now for Winthrop. He needs a little bit more from his team to help out. At least he's still have a lead by 2.
Yeah, they're gonna fight for mid, just maybe wait out the KO knife from Flya. That was a kind of a loud drop down either way. Winthrop have sent Nasi up in kitchen before, so MXS have stacked both their flashers at this point. Pop flash out in mid, Silence caught out. Infiltrator around the corner, and he's dealt with 2. Winthrop can't even hold their own base before MXS start to invade. The last resort being Nasi here at the back will hold their side for now. Then you have Screwface and Yellow Box by himself with literally someone next to him. So this has been a messy round for Winthrop.
Especially when you lost both your... Well, not both, sorry. Just Infiltrator, your duelist towards middle. It's very difficult to now try to activate any type of map control. So I understand here. You're spread across the map. You're trying to do at least some sort of pivot, trying to get control of something, win a duel.
30 seconds left.
To maybe allow your teammates to group in together, but the last 2 at least are grouped before they hit towards the A site. Plant will come down potentially, which will allow Nasi to get the res available on this Clove. He's trying to bait out shots with the first pings.
Placing swarm grenade.
Get the plant off in time. Nasi has the old thrash coming out. Nasi barely dodges it. I think his friend got the chain, and Nasi almost got 2. And the ult being used to escape, and gets into his human form just to be cut short. Now Wingman will defuse. Jerk will have eyes on it, but these distance duels are tough for him to win, especially with the numbers MXS had. So MXS will be within 1.
The game plan was there, trying to delay here with the ult that you have for Nasi, so you could maybe pop the nano swarms. But the protocol's out for MXS, swinging together, getting that trade, and then the decision for Mata to dash onto the site just to break the cage of utility, because there's no way Nasi's going to insta pop out of his res so that the Clove could try to fight back right away. So the Clove has to fall back behind the Viper wall, so there's no post-point utility being used. So now you're forcing players to swing back out to fight, and it comes back in their favor here for MXS to capitalize on a round. And that's a rare here underhand flash that was not expected from Winthrop University that started snowballing this victory for MXS in this round.
It's been a very, very close map. I'm excited to see how the post-timeout adjustments come out, and the Battle of the Jets, Mata versus Infiltrator, where I thought it was starting to turn into the Mata show when this half first started, and Winthrop have brought out the strat book and have changed it up every time. A is definitely their most preferred spot. Just being able to smoke off rafters is pretty important. Not the dinosaur, but they got the lockdown at least. So this would be good for them to lean towards the A side again.
Yeah, if anything, Infiltrator Nasi's been doing a pretty decent job to make sure that Mata doesn't have these pop-off moments. Because right now they're doing pretty good as a dynamic duo to work together and clear up some space, and you already see it again. A smoke on top of Boiler. Timid turret can't see anything, and you already see the updraft on the top, and they're both going to double up here to try to work towards kitchen. A passive hold and a play from Vic. Remember, we need these 2 players, the anchor players from Vic and from Otoshima, to get good value on these positions when they have to anchor up. There's a lot of responsibility within their hands.
Ooh. Nasi in kitchen. What are they cooking? Could get eyes on Vic, and just an Overwatch position for Winthrop to get a plant going, and that catches Vic. So it's the start of something good. Can get smokes in place, but Winthrop's walk-up isn't going as smooth as they thought. They still have to dislodge Yellow Box, and Nasi is continuing to live into enemy lines. Where is the help from Winthrop? The eagerness to push up and... Okay.
Flya kills the ball.
Let's see if you're right. The lockdown will be in place. Flya has to at least deal with that. So, and that is perfect for MXS. Flya can't convert more than one, but taking care of the lockdown is such a big win condition. Now gone
left.
for Winthrop.
Just doesn't know what Infiltrator is at. Oh, thankfully the Dizzy was there. If not, he had to kill onto Mata. Now they have information on both, and MXS can work together now against this pulse plant.
Mata is ready to tango, looking for a partner. He's got the flash up his Gecko, and Infiltrator drops behind the wall, but Mata bests his teammate. 1v1. Mata, with the health disadvantage, takes the L, and Winthrop go up to 6.
A nice little win by Infiltrator on that 1v1, staying calm. Look at the amount of util and what they were trying to do to disrupt Infiltrator within that site to try to force him to make a mistake. Yeah, he just holds there and wins that duel against Mata. And this, unfortunately, is just trying to peek out to get information when, and I understand it, they shot the turret for Winthrop University on top of that boiler, and you're past that minute mark, and you don't have information on mid, so you have to try to start scouting. And Nasi's been doing such a good job just to infiltrate, no pun intended, into these moments and get great value off these lurks. Continuing the lead here for Winthrop University. The lead now with a player advantage as Vic falls early in the round again.
And then Jerk's turret got killed at A, and the fake as Winthrop head into B and get the plant. Viper's wall up. Everything going well. Some excess around the corner. They got Guardians. They got Hope. They got a lockdown. Nope, Odashima's dead. And Nasi is just so aggressive. And the mechanics transfer so well. It's a flawless for Winthrop.
Last round in the half.
And you want this coming out of Winthrop as well. 7 rounds finally on the attack, hoping to get 8, and that's the power of this Asian composition too, right? We talked about this Jet and this Clove could be a double duelist type of beat. And they're actually getting it done that way in that type of play style. Maybe not as divey and poppy as we expect it to be, which is fine because it's not a composition that allows them for them to set up like a whole flood into a site with util.
Out of my way.
It's just using the kit to the advantage here. What value they bring.
Mata's doing it again, but gets punished. Wanted that kill so bad on the Jerk. Last round of the half. And Winthrop is downloading the Mata strat when it comes to A defense. Blade Storm, Cloval. Where's that Nasi aggression? Oh, forehead of Odashima spotted. That beanie will be gone very soon. And Winthrop just gonna not play into those hands. Gonna change it up, but pushed up his Flya was gonna catch this rotate. Not gonna really challenge it unless he's gonna come from behind. Just gonna leave that be.
It's just another round where he's going to hear everything too. And it's okay for him not to challenge it because Odashima has a lockdown as well. So once they start committing, he might preemptively place the lockdown so they could funnel them back towards the A side and cross them over. Especially now that Vic just died.
Down B. One enemy remaining.
Winthrop still need the plan. It's only up to Brock 1v3 and just not gonna happen. Winthrop and the half in their favor, 8-4. But this is not like an insurmountable lead, but it is one that impresses me.
Definitely a great start versus what we saw from Winthrop University on that previous map. But we talked about the aim duels, right? The possibility of doing these fights on a map like Icebox, having less util, needing less util to capitalize on these rounds. And again, Winthrop University is doing that perfectly. But we have a chance to do it now for Moistex Shopify. I don't think there's an opportunity to do too much delay now that you have a Clove on the defense. Maybe the metal could be something that's good into the shock darts that we mentioned before we got into this map. But if not, I mean, at the base of it, when it comes down to these aim duels that I've mentioned that they were missing for Winthrop University on that first map, they definitely got it this time around. Infiltrator and Nasi look very warmed up in the second map, and are definitely able to fight toe-to-toe here against the MXS roster.
Yeah, Infiltrator was definitely caught up in the kills and having basically a double duelist setup with Nasi. I love the way they play for Winthrop. Just the smokes playing more passive with the Clove until they get the ult, and then you see Nasi really become online. And it's not like consistently getting that second life back, but it's the eagerness, the aggression you can play off of when you have the ult. And the information you can still collect afterward, and the chance to get another life. So MXS now on offense. This is their map pick. This is one of their best maps. Winthrop, we already said not so much, but with the start that they had, it's not too bad. They just got to keep it up.
And now the piss round will resume. Thank you for your patience, chat. Looks like we had a small mic issue, but fixed now. As we talk about the aim battles between these two teams, or what Icebox could provide, we're having a 5 ghost setup on the defense, all the way down towards middle, potentially aggressively moving down here for Winthrop University. For MXS, 1 Sheriff, 4 ghosts. No raid boss for any of the players.
Rolling down from Tube, though, having to deal with the KJ util. That's been enough of a distraction. It's not exactly an exchange that favors Winthrop, despite being the one who put the cards down on the table first. MXS, with still Spike in hand, have Mata sitting pretty deep into A, so that'll be the call.
Yeah, favors a bit because you don't have the Viper wall to plant towards B, so you have to commit towards A. But thankfully, because Fly was making so much noise towards this B site, kind of kept Winthrop for a bit. But MXS still moves in, wingman plant, Mata trying to fight towards screens. Trying to find the timing because he can isolate this fight, not letting the shots.
Mata's so good at dashing away, though. If they can't win the dual load, Oshima will step up and put the cape on his back and help MXS get pistol.
On the first half, I don't think I said Otoshima once.
Yeah.
I think he was like 1 in 12 at that point, finishing the half, but it's understandable when you're trying to play anchor towards a site and you're trying to be aggressive for the other players and not getting any value out of it. You're forced to kind of just play rotate simulator and just not get too much value on anchoring towards that site. But at least now he's pushing with the team, gets a 3K in a round when Mata couldn't land his shots with the Sheriff, and allows here Moistic Shopify to get pistol.
Good start, Moist. Buying up. 1 Vandal, but Infiltrator stepping up, but the Sheriff gets first blood. It's quickly traded. As MXS, this was a bigger fight than they expected for A. And around Screwface has the shock bolt too, and that could flush out these corners, and with the support of Infiltrator on the high ground, Winthrop are just waiting.
So is MXS. Just trying to see if anybody's going to push and try to flank aggressively and punish one of these players on a rotate, which could have been silenced, but he falls back towards the kitchen. They're trying to leverage the turret to catch the cross, but already you see Vic pulling up his smoke. So that's going to add the layer of uncertainty if we've rotated back towards the site. For MXS, it's just going to be a re-hit towards the A side, and nobody from Winthrop moved.
Infiltrator dodging the flash, knowing MXS still thinking about A.
Not until
all
that
the
jiggle.
Smokes and yeah, that's done and over with.
Jiggle saw 3, fast pivot towards the B site, and Vic this time is around, so I don't know if they're going to pop off the wall instantly because they already saw 3 players on the other side, wanted to make sure yellow was clear, and now they could plant.
Spike planted.
And Winthrop sent 2 through mid and 2 deep on the flank into A. And you caught the one from Winthrop going mid-cut. And then Sidelings can go through kitchen and try to wrap behind where you would get an alternate angle, but no, it's going to be joined by Screwface. Got to unite the forces when you got pistols like this.
Yeah, when they thought they could have had a rifle, because Screwface ran up towards Belt, towards the X where Brock died, and then realized, oh, they probably juggled that outside of the map. And was a little bit ticked off about that one, because that wastes the clock, and now they're trying to make sure that they're not giving ult orbs away to their opponents, especially when MXS has bought around Bulldogs and Vandals. That's Onishima with 5 kills now in 2 rounds.
And Moist making that comeback after the 8-4 half for Winthrop. So far, so good. Going into the bonus. A lot of Vandals, or 2 Vandals, I should say, on Moist's side. And only 1 Guardian on Winthrop's side, so light shields, though. Moist, Shopify looking a bit more sturdy. They're kind of looking at mid, though. Wonder if they're going to push up kitchen?
Yeah, it might be the similar case here of dashing up here on pipes. Actually, it's under tube instead. And tempoing in their bonus.
Yeah, and eventually getting into kitchen a different way around, but getting behind Winthrop is the plan. Dodging the flashes, exposes them, and Moist get caught. Winthrop reacted well, and
oh my god.
Oh, Silent is watching them all walk by and was too patient with it at the end.
Yikes.
Now MXS plant, Mata controlling the middle of the map as Winthrop used the drone to try to check out that mid cut, and Flya trying to re-clear through kitchen. Screwface coming up from mid, wins that from Mata. And MXS got to be careful how far they extend out. How the Winthrop have evened up the numbers. The Screwface is running around and Flya's now in kitchen, so Winthrop just don't know where to retake from. They've lost every duel they've tried, and that leaves Jerk to save.
And that's just thanks to the lurk that you had inside the kitchen. I think that was Flyer, right? With the Bulldog. So if he saw Infiltrator coming out towards Snowpile and dropping down, and he already took down a Screwface, they already had information of where one of the last 2 players were. And until he communicated that for Vic to get the easy kill into Infiltrator, then Jerk had no choice but to save his weapon at 26 HP left. And MXS now 1 round away of tying up the game. And this is what we mentioned before, like, how can you get good value with a Clove in your composition? And maybe it's just trying to throw here these one-ways towards this A site so you could fight in a spot. They're going to be grouped up at least.
Try to get the orb. Maybe that's why they're 4 stacking. Well, they're stacking because of the sheriffs, sure, but getting the Nasi ult has gotten them some miracles before. Infiltrator heavy pushed up. They're all detected by this KO knife, but Infiltrator at the lineup. Great crosshair placement. They're going to leave up that space. They still haven't grabbed the orb, though. Worried about MXS being on the high ground there.
Yeah.
Might have heard the drop.
Values to get the pick to activate here, infiltrate towards the front with his hero rifle. That's the goal of it, and he gets a second.
Wow,
No
hit the
way,
third, but couldn't
third.
dash out. He's crazy. Winthrop converting a thrifty, it seems. Brock, unless you've entered the Broctagon, but there's the Nasi ult. Goes in for round 2, takes another L. Brock, 1 away from the Thrash 2. If he could just win 1 more kill, he'll kind of repeat the ace from last time. But just traveled across. And nonetheless, still an exciting round for a thrifty for Winthrop.
Infiltrator once again. We talked about those one-ways, so they threw that smoke towards the A nest just so that there's no vision and value off the players coming up on belt, which is something that MXS has been doing a lot at the beginning of these rounds. So Infiltrator is able to move forward, get the dash kill away, and then you saw the rest. I mean, somehow got 3 kills, man. That shouldn't have happened. But we'll take it for sure. If you're a fan here over at Winthrop University that you want your star duelists to activate now. And he's done a great job in this map. Trying to maintain the lead. As they're trying to get a fast push now towards middle, and Nasi was already there to greet Vic.
Yeah, I like that Winthrop have adjusted to have better vision on kitchen when MXS have pushed up there before. And having the alarm bot near tube is great for Jerk. MXS are losing numbers and losing gas in the tank too, and it was 3 rounds in a row for them before Winthrop thriftied. Just gotta stay composed and alive ideally, but MXS looking down a 2v4. Nasi isolating this duel. The smoke, Brock, Nasi takes the conservative shelter. And it's Winthrop that obviously get the round.
And you can already see here from the kit or the what we're trying to do playing as a Clove that there's just reflexes on how you're using the util, especially when you don't have to click an eye off a kill to get an overheal or to look for an orb to hit the overheal. It's just an instant kill, and then you pop the C, at least you see on the UI to have the pick me up. Although Nasi did it when he received 0 damage, so that was a waste of a piece of an ability, but nonetheless still managed to get 3 kills in a round and to hold and anchor the B site here for Winthrop University. Off now for Infiltrator. Off shot missed. It was close. Haircut given to Brock. But this might be an opportunity now for MXS to take control here of this A site around this Thrash available now for Brock.
Can Mata get a good swing? It all depends on Infiltrator versus Mata. He's gonna get the upper hand. They're like circling around each other. Infiltrator almost caught the elbow. And what is the reaction out of Mata? Now that the smoke clears, will in a second. At least he'll be safe for now. Thrash on the attack for MXS, and this forces the disengage out of Winthrop. We're playing at screens and rafters. MXS will recollect the Thrash too, so this is something to worry about if you're Winthrop, and especially losing Screwface.
Exactly. I was gonna say he probably needs to start falling back here outside of the spawns that could use a Hunter's Fury to delay the spike plant. Now this is an opportunity for MXS to get in.
Oh, the op and screens. MXS, how do you push against this? Only snake bite, an up trap, and just Winthrop taking full control of this map, going up to 11. A deciding map on the horizon.
Right now on the defensive side for Winthrop University, they're doing what MXS wanted to do on the defensive half. Push forward, get control here of Belt, getting control of Pipes as well, just locking down towards the A side, and then even committing into a further push against MXS and getting great value at the beginning, because not only do they, even if they missed a shot, they get great information of that there's 2 or 3 players trying to hit towards either A side, either towards middle. Every type of position that they have, they're one step ahead of where MXS are trying to work the sites. Remember 2 rounds ago, it was a fast mid to B split, and already Vic got picked off inside Pipes. These are good reads coming out from Winthrop University just on the tendencies that MXS have been doing here on the attack side.
This Infiltrator is so good too. This is the guy you gotta go after if you're MXS. And the last timeout for MXS, and it's clutch or kick, and they were able to come back slightly when it was, what, an 8-4 half for Winthrop, and MXS got within 1 or 2 rounds, and now that gap has extended for Winthrop, 2 rounds away from sending us to a third. Lockdown, Pit versus Hunter's Fury, 1 away from Null Command and Bladestorm on the side of MXS. See where this goes.
Force buying this time too for MXS. Losing this round, they'll have Bladestorm and maybe another rifle on a half buy.
Oh, Nasi got completely smoked there by the flash, and Mata
No way.
leads them to a round victory, it seems, with both kills, and the established wingman planting. Winthrop couldn't get vision to prevent that.
He got those 2 kills and even dashed forward to avoid the 3rd pulse from Screwface and not get hit by the Hunter's Fury to give a 2-player advantage for MXS. That was a huge play by Mata. And now, unfortunately, you're trying to make plays for the rest, and it's understandable. Infiltrator's been feeling themselves throughout the second map.
You always gotta shoot a body if you kill your doppelganger on the other side. That's a barrel. Mata sees it. Oh, heard someone behind too. He sees and hears. Did you guys know that? 3v2 though.
Player standing.
MXS desperately need to collect some more rounds here. That'll put them within 3. And this is after the timeout, so whatever they talked about, it worked.
Yeah, and okay to give up the let Jerk save his rifle, because remember, they 4-spot in this round. Credit was going to be very low should they lose more players, sorry. And now it gives them an opportunity to get more rifles. Now they have ults. Nasi has theirs. And that timeout, I mean, they just booked it. They just went for a B hit and just tried to push through and try to find utility to support Mata to get these entries. And He did great to start. Now look at Winthrop University, though. Because Mata did what he did on that first round, on that previous round, there are 4 players there.
Let's get it, I guess. Just the hailstorm of bullets from the Odin. Just a noise distraction. Infiltrator checking the corner. The peek from Flya, but he's got friends in Winthrop. Weren't expecting it, but they're gonna send some backup, and Flya kills almost all of them. Winthrop had a pretty big disadvantage, but cool play. The Odin's still in hand, though.
You saw from that pick, though, Nasi didn't go with the res. Just because they lost Infiltrator early in the round and then he died, they just thought that, okay, well, maybe Silence is not going to win theirs, so it's going to be impossible for me to try to res and help out. So this gives a great opportunity here for MXS to play the player advantage inside the pit on the A site.
Huge round for Moist to turn around. Smata watching over rafters. The main area Winthrop are going to try and retake from. Screens is going to have a tough enough time. The recon right into the pit. Screwface with the Odin. At least this is the guy you can call for the job to pressure out the person in pit, but not getting much luck. They're going to decide to save their... Not save, but going to just leave Vic on the post plant. And Winthrop are the ones trying to save.
Player standing.
Not working out so far. At least they'll save the Odin towards the end. Definitely here for MXS, getting great value off the timeout to string in 2 rounds in a row. And also not too many ults behind it, right? The last round was only a pit that was invested. Now they still have the lockdown to use. Or available, rather, with the KO ult. There's a lot right now in the hands here of MXS to try to tie up this game, and they don't want to let that happen for Winthrop University as they're calling a timeout right now.
Good timing, because we Shopify 2-0 after their timeout. Just, they're really good at identifying their own problems. You've even pointed out that Moist Shopify are very, well, I was going to say humble. They are shooting bodies sometimes, but at least humble in terms of what they have to improve and recognizing within themselves what needs to change and not being afraid to communicate that. So Winthrop trying to ice them out and figure out what's wrong with their game plan after they felt like they had really control. Felt like Winthrop had control of that second half.
Yeah. For MXS, I mean, at least to try to get early information has been on this B site to start, get into Dizzy and the KO flash if needed to see how many players will be moving through. And with that, they could decide, okay, should we hold back and fight against them? Can we pivot towards the A site? So there is better value of MXS currently with their defaults at the beginning of the round, but off the timeout, though, Mata has an op on the attack against Infiltrator. This is going to be a great round to start. But unfortunately, both ops in opposite directions.
Got op and baby op on Winthrop's side. Odin too. Interesting. Just an interesting buy from Winthrop.
Yeah, lots to do. I mean, you're 2 rounds in the lead. You're trying to get value around the Odin, and you still have pretty decent economy moving into the next round, especially with how Infiltrator's been popping off. I mean, he could buy the next round even if it loses the op. And the Dizzy not spawning the op at the very beginning, and it's good here, at least for MXS, that they're not committing towards B, because that's where the op was here for Infiltrator, and they want to try to pivot back towards the A site.
Yeah, the action will really go down off the first blood, and both these teams are at a stalemate. So it's time that's going to force Moist Shopify's hand here in a sec for A. But have they figured out where Infiltrator is? Sometimes he likes to play A on this high ground, but with the op, he's actually on the other side. Moist Shopify have to look at everything, and they're going to early lockdown to stop Winthrop from being on the site.
Missed the top of the pipes too, though, so there's a gap on the right side. It's already being pinged. Will there be util there? Dizzy's being thrown, close in the corner.
Nasi has the ulto. Not gonna decide to... Oh, okay, just now using it. Either way, Winthrop have the numbers. Moist Shopify did not get the plant. 13 seconds left, and they're fighting for space. It's left. Winthrop after the timeout that get back in the driver's seat. Oh, and set sail towards a potential map victory.
That was so close at least to get that kill and maybe get a plat down, but now they're realizing how annoying this is to play against the Odin. The sprays from Screwface outside from the ramp into screens all the way towards the ones that are trying to cross towards that site. And on top of that, to add insult to injury, Winthrop now pick up the op left behind by Mata, and they're playing double up on defense as they have the lead by 3. So another one of these timeouts coming in from the opposite end when they get great value off the half buys that they have through. And Jerk off site right now, trying to find a timing at least on where MXS are moving towards to. He's trying to watch the control on Boiler, and Vic is feeling here a push coming out from Infiltrator with the op on Pipes.
I'll pit it up in A.
Spike retrieved.
Silence holding it down. MXS have been playing this slow early game of just hoping to play for picks and waiting until the around 40-second mark to start making progress. It's Nasi going down 2, and that means null command 2 from Flya as MXS approach B. That's an interesting chickle peek. Either way, Winthrop have the angles around MXS, and it's a double swing from MXS to get back to an advantage. But Silence on the high ground is still a problem, and MXS could be denied a plant. Just now pulling it off. Silence getting shut down is so huge. Vic with 3. Now it's only up to Jerk. They don't know where they are. We'll have a turret. Oh, the wingman spotted him. At least you won't have that to use. The turret pinging Brock close left. All depends on how and when Vic swings, which is perfectly timed for MXS.
Yeah, too many bodies for Jerk to handle. And with the timing on Vic coming through, and he's been quite, I mean, he's still 17 and 15, but what I was calling out with him getting picked off here on when they were working in the defensive side, he's still doing a great job to get a 4K in the round and putting great impact frags for Moistek Shopify to stay in this game. The double out setup that could have been so oppressive against Winthrop University, and to get value out of that, they're able to convert that around against Winthrop. And now back into such a broken buy. Orb now picked up. Jerk 1 away from the lockdown.
Wow. 14 HP. Mata, best infiltrator. This has been the Jet Mash that just really popped off for this show. And MXS, they continue to claim bodies and to, with hopes of trying to force overtime against Winthrop. And Screwface, Jerk 1 away from ult themselves. That could be what Winthrop can work towards to close out the map in their favor. Screwface could be catching a lot of people here.
Oh, you could cut the tension with a knife. All of them just seeing that because we're playing so aggressively for Infiltrator, there's got to be more. And the Dizzy finally gets him.
The Dizzy caught him! Oh, the line of sight! That hurts! Screwface could have saved that for Winthrop. Can't imagine the multi-kill if MXS didn't check that. They take their time and it pays off. MXS and E5 versus 2. Just really a Vandal to worry about on Jerk's side. Still need to claim the space, and winning that against Jerk is pretty GG for this round. A flawless 1-2 at that for MXS.
Imagine if Screwface was able to get so much value on that nest, and thankfully that Dizzy caught him. And that overcook, I mean, it's still a leg shot, and it's so hard for both of those players on as a Jet to try to get value off one, a Phantom spraying through the jail, and then the other one trying to get an op shot through the jail. And at least here on the side of MXS, they were the one that came up on top of that, which then allowed here on having more bodies together to work on those protocols to hit towards the A site in the later round. And they already want to bring this into overtime. Tempoing back towards the B main, and Nasi just got spotted inside kitchen.
Oh, Nasi gets traded. Hunter's Fury for Screwface. to help delay the B push from MXS. And they've taken some really fun routes from mid, dealing with Kitchen,
Ooh.
but not wanting to go deep enough. And that's an early lockdown before the plant was even in place, and MXS can just play out of this.
Jerk off site, just holding down the lockdown to try to funnel them back. At least to give the space here for the triple push to come forward for Infiltrator, Screwface, and Jerk. And by then, the recon dart should be up, and there you go. They have it. Aldrone's trying to clear. It might give an opportunity here for the flood retake to happen for Winthrop. All down to this plant.
Are we getting OT? Map 3, what's it gonna be? Infiltrator to the right, 1 and 2!
Suppressed.
And almost 2 to lose for MXS. It's up to Flya. 1 versus 2, just needs to protect the spike. It is smoked off. It's been pinged, and it's Winthrop with the win.
And with that, we'll be pushing this to the limit on the third map. And Screwface is definitely going to be loud with the rest of the team, pumping them up, because now they're starting to feel like it's doable, that they could do it, and that they could take down MXS on Ascent.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Moist, Shopify were undefeated on this map, by the way. Through all the 3 times they've been in it. I can't. It's insane. I'm at a loss for words. Winthrop fought long and hard for this one. Timeouts at the end that swung momentum and just vibes back in their favor to lock in when it mattered the most. 13-11 to deny that OT. We got one final map for the day. This show has gone the distance. Tension is here, and we'll see you after this.